This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Mr. Perez, and you're listening to the Better Live Than Dead podcast, brought to you exclusively on Gear Network. Listen in. Just sitting there yelling at each other.
Yes. Welcome. We're just going to yell at each other. Welcome to the podcast. 35th episode.
3-5.
Making up words. The 35th episode.
3/5
of the Better Live Than Dead podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Wolf, joined by my esteemed co-host, Mr. Perez.
What's up, peoples?
I'm good. I can say your name. I'm getting back to that. I'm getting back to saying your name again.
It's cool. It's cool.
I was about to sing Destiny's Child there, but that would have been some scary stuff.
Yeah, it really would have not been applicable either. I don't really want you to say my name in that fashion. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're interested in, man.
Not you. Sorry.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well, at least we're friends, right?
Right. We can be friends.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay,
It's not you. It's me.
Yeah. Exactly. Another week of the podcast. We're here live, early. I slept, I think, like 4.5 hours last night.
I got more than that.
Like, you know when you turn your cell phone on and you're going to bed pretty late at night, but you turn an alarm on,
Right?
And it says this alarm will go off in like 5 hours.
Yes.
What the hell am I doing?
Well, hey,
That's
man.
how I felt last night.
Hey, I got a little more than 4.5. I probably got about 5.5, 6 maybe. But my dog woke me up like at 6:30.
That's nice. I was going to say there's 11 games of the hockey season left, including Saturday night's game against Nashville. And I love hockey, but I'm ready for the season to be over.
Well, if I was a Buffalo Sabres fan, I'd be ready too.
Well, not even that. It's just the amount of work I have to do.
I understand.
And it's piling up.
With the other stuff you're doing.
Yeah, it's piling up. But yeah, just a fan point of view.
Right.
I'm ready for the draft lottery. I'm ready for the draft. Ready
Right.
for free agency next season.
I hear you. I feel sorry for you, but I don't.
I know you don't.
I don't.
Because you're a Penguins fan and you just,
I am a Pens fan.
Yeah. It's like when I'm a Red Sox fan, you're a Yankees fan, and I'm like, Red Sox in the playoffs and Yankees aren't. I don't feel bad for you at all.
Yeah, you know who will not be playing in the playoffs against each other this year?
Who?
Red Sox and the Yankees.
That's because the Yankees are terrible.
Oh, the Yankees. It's going to be a rough year this year for Yankees.
I'm thinking
fan.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do that transition from like being really old to trying to be really young, but they just can't like get really young, so it's going to be awkward for a little while.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a tough year. It is not going to be fun.
I mean, even if they do good, you're just going to hear nothing but Alex Rodriguez. So
Right, exactly. Not looking forward to
ridiculous. That. Well, hey, I think our pre-show is over. Should we go into the news?
Well, why not?
Let's go to the news.
No, we go to the news.
National Football League. Kansas City Chiefs re-sign safety Ron Parker. San Francisco 49ers. Interesting move. They signed running back Reggie Bush.
Okay.
Very interesting move.
Okay.
Just because no one really knows what they're doing out there in San Francisco. And
Right.
Most of the team is either retired or quit or just left.
Right. That's true. That San Fran's going to have a very, very bad year this
Well, it may not be
season.
bad. It may just be very interesting.
Oh, no, it's going to be bad.
I'm assuming it's going to be bad, but I don't want to jump to conclusions now because if you go back and look at the National Football League preview podcast that we had where I had the Saints in the Super Bowl, we don't make very smart decisions sometimes on the podcast. So
It's going to be bad.
It'll probably be bad. The San Diego Chargers signed wide receiver Stevie Johnson. Minnesota cuts...
That's a good sign for them.
I think so, yeah.
That's a good
Minnesota
sign.
cuts wide receiver Greg Jennings.
Bye, Greg.
What I was going to say is that Stevie Johnson almost signs in New England, which would have been huge for New England solely for the fact that Stevie Johnson destroys Terrell Rivas every time.
That's a true story.
So that would have been big for them, but he decided to stay home and stay in San Diego. He's from, I think he's from the San Francisco area. So
That's a good sign. They need another good
You get to play under Phil Rivers. I mean,
downfield threat. To have Philip Rivers just chucking him the ball.
you go from Ryan Fitzpatrick to Colin Kaepernick to Phil Rivers. I believe that he's the real MVP in this situation. Stevie Johnson.
That's a good upgrade on all fronts right there.
Tennessee signs cornerback Parrish Cox. New England re-signs defensive end Alan Branch. San Francisco re-signs defensive end Chris Cook. Cincinnati signs defensive end Michael Johnson. The interesting thing about this one is he left Cincinnati for Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay cut him after one season. So not only does Cincinnati have Michael Johnson back, but in the draft this year they get a compensatory third-round pick for him signing in Tampa Bay. So,
works out for them.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
No doubt.
The NFLPA re-elects President DeMaurice Smith to another term. Most people said that this means that the 18-game season, a quest for that to happen, is likely dead at this point in time. Not surprising. I don't think that was ever feasible. It was just about a money grab.
Oh, absolutely.
But, I mean, if you want more money out of the league, add 2 more playoff teams.
Could do that. That'd be a better idea.
And I think that's something that will happen in the future.
Yeah, that'd be a better idea.
The world almost went nuclear this week. I'm sure you know what I'm about to mention, Perez. The Philadelphia Football Eagles tried out one Timothy Tebow.
Yes,
for quarterback, though. Quarterback.
Yes.
Now, here's the interesting thing. There's a lot of talk that the Eagles are looking to trade Matt Barkley, which would in turn make Tim Tebow their top target for quarterback, and that would be terrible.
Well, I've heard, though, that Tebow's mechanics and arm have gotten a lot better.
Well, yeah, he's been working with famed coach Tom House from USC,
right,
who has helped a lot of people.
Yes,
and but the thing,
including one Tom Brady.
That is true. But the thing about Tebow is that I don't think a better throwing motion will still change the fact that he's not really good at reading defenses.
Probably not.
I mean, if he got better, worth a shot.
Right.
But it's just I don't think I feel like he's running down a dream that's just not there.
Well, I kind of feel bad for him because he's one of the most decorated college quarterbacks of all time. I mean, he won, what was it? He won 2 championships, and in his scheme in college, he was phenomenal. But you get to the pros, it just didn't translate well.
His football game didn't transfer well, and I mean he won a playoff game with Denver, which was highly improbable.
Right.
I mean that team was just all sorts of craziness.
Yes.
But instead,
I still think he'd be better served if he switched position. It's like a tight end or something. He's got the size, he's got the quickness, so I think something like that would be better for him. And
I'm trying to take a Snapchat of myself, but I just looked really awkward.
Well, it's because you kept raising your eyebrow and opening your one eye,
because I had half my face behind. I'm like, Perez, I'm like, hey, take a picture of me. Take a picture of me, and you can't see my face. Okay, back to the stories now.
That actually might be better for the people in viewing land.
Thanks. You're a real asshole, Perez.
Yes, I am.
You're a real asshole.
Thank you very much.
Cleveland signs cornerback Tremont Williams. I don't know why I said Tremont.
It might be Tremont.
It's Tremont. I'm pretty sure.
It might be Tremont.
We've seen enough Packers games on TV.
That's true, but at the same token,
Joe Buck, Tremont Williams.
Yeah,
that's my Joe Buck impression.
That wasn't a good one.
I know. I'm not good at impressions.
It's okay.
Houston signs defensive tackle Vince Wilfork.
That's a good sign.
Funny story behind this one. I tweeted out Houston Texans have J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, and now Vince Wilfork on that line. Yes, please. And then guess what happened?
It excited him.
In a span of 12 hours, I had 3 Houston Texan cheerleaders follow me on Twitter.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
It was nice. It's a good thing to add to my hashtag brand. Houston Texan cheerleaders. I don't know, man. I don't know what I did.
That's okay.
Apparently,
you don't have to know what you did.
I didn't do anything. That's perfect.
All right.
It was awesome. I was very happy. But on a serious note,
that's a good line right there.
On a serious note, that is really, really good. That line is
that's a beast.
Well, that's like how Buffalo was a couple years ago, where you get the front line to be really dominant, and then the rest of the team gets better, and then you can get better over time.
Right.
Where, I mean, obviously now the whole defense is just phenomenal. But in Houston, it's kind of, they've got good parts here, good parts there, but that line is sick.
Now, if only their offense could do something.
Well, yeah. That's why they brought Brian Hoyer in, because it'll be Ryan Mallett, Brian Hoyer, the ex-Patriot quarterbacks with the ex-Patriot coach.
Mallett, I am.
And then,
sorry, had to go back there. When you said Mallett, remind me of MC Hammer. Sorry.
Aging yourself in the podcast today.
Oh, hey, I'm old. What can I say? Not as old as some people, but I'm old.
It is what it is. I'm old too, but I'm just not as old as others.
Mentally, I'm very young, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a child. Oakland cuts quarterback Matt Schaub. It seems like this might be the end of the road for him.
Probably.
Just because you saw. It seems like he didn't. I don't know how to put it. He spent all his bullets in Houston, but really it just seemed like even in Houston he was coming to an end.
Yes.
He went to Oakland, and there's just not much there.
No.
and then he became an expensive backup, and obviously they signed Christian Ponder last week. So now Matt Schaub is on the free agent market, and
bye, Matt.
I heard some Bills fans say get Matt Schaub, and no.
Bills might do it though.
No,
you never know.
No, they just picked up Tyrod Taylor. They've got Matt Castle. They've got EJ Manuel. They've got their quarterbacks, and crazy thing is Tyrod Taylor apparently has an opportunity to start, which is why he turned down Denver to come to Buffalo. Does Denver know something we don't know?
Maybe.
Anyways,
Maybe.
Big story of the week. San Francisco linebacker Chris Borland retires. He said the risk was not worth the reward of playing football. Last year he was one of the best. I think he had the most tackles on the 49ers defense. Now it's interesting because this is the first time we've really seen a player preemptively retire in the National Football League. I mean,
scrub.
He seems like a smart dude.
He seems like a whip. That's what he seems like.
No, he seems like a smart dude. He
seems like a pansy.
From my point of view,
he's a pansy.
You look at the guy and you say, look at the NFL career is the average NFL career is what, 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
So if he goes out there and gets, has a career-ending injury or gets, listen. If he has a career-ending injury or gets, has 4 or 5 concussions, his quality of life is ruined for the rest of his life, for the next 30, 40 years of his life. I mean, yes, that's the risk you take when you play football, but this guy clearly just said, you know what? It's not, the risk isn't worth the reward.
And I say he's a pansy.
Some players have no problem playing the game.
Most of the players have a problem with what he did. I've
not seen.
You spent most of your life playing this football game. You played it at a very high level in college. The college football game is a very bruising game because everyone is trying to get to the next level. So in college, when you're not getting paid, you're going out there, even not getting paid, and you're going all out. You're playing 110% all the time. And this dude played a position that was helmet to helmet all the time. And you knew the risks. So it almost seems like, let me go to the pros, let me get my guaranteed money, I'll play 1 season, and then I'll bounce, and I'll say, I'm concerned about the health risks. You've been playing this game for years. You know about the health risks. Pansy.
He didn't even get that much money, Perez.
Pansy.
He didn't even get that much money.
He still got some.
He's going to become they say that it sounds like he might end up becoming a coach. You know what the thing is? I'm not going to sit here and trash the guy because to each his own, But I like what a lot of players said from what I saw. Just, you know what? If you're not in the game, if your head's not in the game, your heart's not in the game, walk away. And that's what the guy did. There was some doubt that crept into that man's mind that said, you know what? I'm not sure if the concussions are worth it. I'm not sure if the potential of ruining, my quality of life is worth it. Like a guy like Patrick Willis, his teammate, the guy he replaced in the lineup this year, who Patrick Willis said the reason I can't play football anymore is because I don't have feet under me to play. Like, that's how bad his feet are messed up. Do you want to be a guy like that where you tend...
You know the risks.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying is that he understands the risks and says that they're not worth it. And that's the big deal out of this whole thing is are people going to start looking at that and saying, yeah, I could be, I have the chance to be a great player, but what are the odds? The odds are against me. Is it worth it? Probably not. I'll go do something else.
Yes,
I don't think it's
that is the problem I have right now with a lot of things going on in this country. It's the wussification of the United States of America. Started when all these elementary schools started to get rid of hide and go seek and dodgeball.
Lewis, I think this is a different. I think this is a different show.
No,
I agree with you. I agree with you that
it's all a symptom of the same problem. We coddle everyone nowadays. There's no such thing as a warrior mentality anymore.
I feel like
and it's annoying.
I agree with you that the wussification of America has to happen, but we could have that discussion on Get Ready America, I believe. Probably get John in on it and Dawn, and we could have some fun with that.
Probably.
But
maybe not because if we do that on Get Ready America, okay, I'm going to trash one of their favorite guys in the President of the United States of America, and they may not like that.
Who?
Dawn and John.
Who are you going to trash?
One of their favorite guys.
I want to know. You can't leave me hanging like that.
President of the United States of America.
The current president.
Yes.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I think this is an isolated incident, but
I don't. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to cause more incidents. It's going
to let people. It's going to make people more cognizant of their decision. It's not. You don't have to be here, essentially. But that's the thing, though.
I think it's going to affect football down the road.
That's the thing, though. While you're trashing the guy, saying he's a coward and all this stuff, whatever. But
I didn't say he was a coward.
You're whatever you're saying. I couldn't remember the word. I'm tired.
Wussy.
Okay, he's
wussy.
He's a wussy.
Pansy.
It's the same. It's the adjective. It's the thesaurus. I'm whatever.
No, coward's completely different.
You get what I'm saying? I slept for like 4 hours last night.
Okay.
I can't remember the last thing I just said. Cut me some slack here. Maybe I need to retire from the podcast at this point. I don't necessarily think it's going to be the end of the NFL as people are so aptly making it out to be, but because if this guy retires, there's going to be the next guy in line to take his spot. It's just that this guy says, you know what, I don't feel. It's like if you're in a bad situation and 9 people say, yeah, I'm fine with it, I'm cool with it, and you're like, you know what, this is not cool. I'm just going to go do something else.
Yeah, but you already have interest.
But then someone else is going to step up in your spot. That's just how it works. It's just I feel like because of the concussion issue, because of and rightfully so because of the concussion issue, but because of the injury risk and just because of how much of a toll it takes physically and mentally on your body over the years in football, that's why I feel like it's such a big deal, because we don't ever see this happen. The next time it happens, it won't be that big of a deal. And the time after that, it won't be as big of a deal. It'll just be, this guy said, you know what, I don't necessarily feel that, playing for the league minimum and beating my body up and potentially, killing myself, because obviously with the concussion issue, it certainly leads to an early demise, in most cases at least. He just doesn't think it's worth it, and that's totally respectable. I mean, I get what you're saying. I understand that from like a teammate's perspective. I'm sure there's a lot of teammates or a lot of colleagues in the NFL that say, this guy's a baby. Suck it up. I'm over here playing with, whatever, blown up knees and torn whatever and broken whatever. And, I've had whatever many concussions and I'm still playing. But you got to give the guy some credit. Because instead of sticking around and
you could give him credit. I don't have to give him credit. I'm not giving him any credit. None.
That's fine.
To me,
you can go later with your brass balls and you can walk around and tell everyone how they're a big baby.
Listen, it's not even about that. It has nothing to do with my big brass balls. You're getting a little heated over there, buddy.
You are. I'm
good.
You're getting heated.
I just think he's a wimp. We already have interest groups going after the NFL saying how damaging this sport is. You know the risks of any sport when you step on that field, when you step on that court, when you step on that hocky rink.
But that's what
you already know the risks.
That's what I'm saying.
You have the president of the United States saying that if he had sons, he would not let them play football.
I feel like
you already have these people saying this is what the problem is with this sport, and then you have a guy like this who, by the way, has not had a concussion.
He's had 2 concussions in college.
He's had concussion symptoms. He even said he had concussion symptoms, but they were never declared actual concussions.
Well, that's because usually doctors are very poor at this. I feel like maybe we should get a concussion doctor on here sometime.
I've had 6 concussions in my life.
I've had quite a few too. Yeah, they're not good.
I'm fine.
Well, now
I'm crazy, but I'm fine.
Well, that might be why you're crazy.
No, I've always been crazy. It comes with the territory, right? So yeah, to me.
I understand what you're saying. I do. Maybe we'll have to have a bigger conversation about this at a later time. Maybe we'll get John involved, because I feel like with you and I, we're just going to go back and forth. Because every time we get in an argument or heated discussion, I should say, we don't argue. We just get a heated discussion. It's always just we dig our heels in the ground, and I just say yes, and you just say no, or vice versa, and then we just keep doing that. But I agree with what you're saying with how the wussification of people and how, but. You look at it, and the proof is in the pudding, man. Like
people.
The concussions are causing people's lives to end sooner. When you have
so's breathing our air.
When you have
with all the toxins in
when
it.
you have a 35-year-old football player who has the brain of a 65-year-old man with dementia because he got hit in the head a bunch of times.
But that's not the norm.
That is avoidable. Breathing air is not avoidable. You have to breathe air. You don't have to.
But that's not the norm. Yeah, it's avoidable. Don't go outside your house. Just chill.
You still have to breathe your air inside the house.
I'm just saying.
You got to breathe. You can't just.
If you're going to play a contact sport, you have to know the risks. Not every 35-year-old has the brain of a 60-year-old.
The guy knew the risks, and he said the risks weren't worth it. That's all it is. I don't want you to make this into something bigger than what it is.
He wanted to try to get that money and step away.
I don't think
so. Because you wouldn't have played in college the entire time, and you wouldn't have allowed yourself to be drafted. Because college football is a very bruising game because they're trying to get to the next level. They're going 110%. Okay?
How many people get to the National Football League after playing football their entire life and go, you know what, this isn't for me?
Not a lot.
A lot of people.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
There's a lot of people in this
Not
world
a
that
ton.
have gone to the league and gone, you know what, I can't make it here.
I'm not
going to stick around and make an ass of myself. I can go start my life somewhere else.
Not a ton.
That's what this guy's doing.
Now, I know people who played college football right now who have damaged bodies who would give an arm to step in between the lines one more time on a Saturday.
That's the difference between that guy and this guy.
Yeah.
This guy just flat out said, you know what, I'm not...
True warriors versus people who shouldn't be playing the game.
This guy just flat out said, you know what, it's not worth it. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can we move on?
Yeah, that's
We'll
fine.
talk about this later.
That's fine.
We'll have it for a future podcast.
Okay.
We'll try to get. I doubt it'll happen. Maybe we can get Chris Nowinski from Harvard, the ex-wrestler, the concussion master, to come on and talk about concussion sometime. Maybe.
Okay.
It's a dream, you know. But maybe we'll have it happen. We'll talk.
You know who we can bring on?
Who?
Concussion master.
Who?
We get Hobie.
Moving on. Cleveland reportedly offered. Oh, we're running out of time here. We might have to haul this one up. We're at 21 minutes right now. Cleveland reportedly offered the 19th pick for Sam Bradford. Recipient was unknown. They're not sure if it was St. Louis or if it was Philadelphia, but either way, Cleveland still itching for a quarterback with their quarterback in rehab at the moment.
Right.
The Buffalo Bills signed Charles Clay to a 5-year, $38 million offer sheet, which was not matched by the Dolphins, so Charles Clay is a Buffalo Bill. Big move that continues to push the Buffalo Bills' big offseason. They have a ton of weapons on offense.
Yep.
Offense now. At this point, Perez, I think you or I could play quarterback and throw for 4,000 yards.
It's very possible.
The Baltimore Ravens cut running back Bernard Pierce after he was popped for DUI on St. Patrick's Day. How stupid you got to be to... first off, I don't advocate drinking and driving. But you know what? If you're dumb enough to drink and drive, don't do it on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, no, you could do it on St. Patrick's Day. You could drink, but
I'm saying don't drink and drive on
right, don't
St.
drink and drive. Part of the collective bargaining agreement is that if you're a football player and you're out drinking, no matter where you are, you could call your team and they'll send someone to come pick you up.
Absolutely.
They'll send an armed driver, okay? And if you bought your car, they'll send 2 people. Both of them will be armed. Both of them are normally like ex-military or ex-police. So you're safe. They'll drive you home in your car. So there's no need to ever have a DUI in the NFL. Because they'll come pick you up, literally.
To make light of the situation, the next day, as if his problems couldn't get worse, the Jacksonville Jaguars claimed him off waivers.
That's a double whammy.
Dallas signs defensive end Greg Hardy.
That's a good pickup right there.
It's on the field. It's a good pickup. Off the field, I think he's a pile of crap.
Probably.
And I believe that he deserves to be suspended for however long the NFL decides to suspend him. And the deal was the way the deal was structured. It was a smart deal because essentially I think there's like $700,000 of guaranteed salary, and everything else is if you're on the 53-man roster this game you get this much.
Well, I think the guarantee is a little more than that because it's a 1 year $11 million.
I think it's up to 11 or it's up to 13.
Okay.
But the way it's broken down is I think there's like $9 million of game bonuses, or like if you're on the 53-man roster, you get a bonus. But I honestly believe that, and I'm going to throw a bit of a hot take out there right now, I don't think Greg Hardy belongs in the National Football League. Do you know what happened in that whole situation?
I know they can't find whoever he supposedly pushed.
He beat the absolute piss out of his girlfriend or someone he was seeing at the time.
See, now I was told he just pushed her.
She went on the record of
which is still not good, by the way.
He pushed her. He dragged her around. Had his manager come in, hold her down while he screamed in her face, did a bunch of crap. Horrible, horrible stuff.
I didn't hear all that.
Terrible stuff. I read about it this week when the Cowboys signed him because it came back to the surface. So he goes to trial. He's going to be found guilty, go to jail or whatever for however many months or whatever it would be, or get a plea agreement and plea out of whatever it was. But she disappeared.
Right, I know they can't find her.
They think that he paid her off and made her disappear for a while until the case goes away.
Well, yeah, you can't really convict someone if there's no witness. Which
is true. But now the National Football League is in a precarious situation because how do they suspend a gentleman who...
There's no one to say he did it.
There's no one... Well, I mean, the evidence is there. They have the evidence. They just don't have a conviction. So I don't believe that Greg Hardy certainly belongs to the National Football League at this point, but, it's a different conversation for a different day because the National Football League is full of large, large piles of crap. It's a wonderful thing about the National Football League is there's always a terrible person right around the next corner. Just when you think you get away from them, another one shows up.
I got nothing to say.
Speaking of that, good transition. Speaking of piles of crap, Minnesota will not cut Adrian Peterson. Funny thing about that is that they met. They're all hugging and kissing, whatever, as they say. Everything was happy-go-lucky. Then the Vikings said, "Hey, Adrian, we're not cutting you," and that's when Adrian Peterson cut off all contact with the football organization. The general manager tried to schedule a meeting with his agent last week, and his agent pretty much told him to go F himself.
Well,
so
I get it.
Peterson is not owed any. He's only owed $750,000 in the offseason, so he doesn't technically have to show up until week 1, and if he shows up week 1, his paychecks will start coming through.
Yeah.
So we have not seen the last of that saga.
That'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens there, as you said. The NCAA, Syracuse fires athletic director amid the scandal fallout, and Jim Boeheim says he'll retire in 3 years.
Yes.
Big news out of Syracuse, but...
Well, he is 70 years old.
Yeah.
It's time to go off into the sunset. You've had a couple scandals. Might be time to leave.
You can keep talking. I'm going to try to do something.
Well, no, I'm just saying, as good as a career as he's had, it is now time to hang it up.
And I totally agree with that one. It's usually these type of scenarios push people out instantly because what was going on was kind of like Jim Boeheim apparently didn't have anything to do with it, but because it was happening under his watch,
right?
It's like when I tell people on the hockey website I write for, if something goes up that's really bad, it's my fault just as much as the other person's fault because I'm the one that it's on my watch,
right?
So. Real quick, just a programming note. I hope we're not echoing right now because I started and stopped the virtual audio cable just to kind of break the fourth wall. I wanted to try it. And I didn't want to stop because we're like halfway through the news and it's 27 minutes in. So if we echo, then we know not to do it next time.
That's right.
But we'll only echo for a few minutes.
That's true.
University of Buffalo, or the University of Bacon, as some of the ex-students on ex-alumni, ex-students, current alumni on Twitter have called it. Bacon goes to their first NCAA tournament in program history.
They held tough last night.
Almost beat West Virginia. That was the big upset because I'm going to point it out right now. It's the first time since 2007, only the fourth time since 1985 when the tournament expanded to 64 teams that a 12 did not beat a 5.
Yeah, they held tough last night.
A lot of people had Buffalo beating West Virginia, and they almost did.
Yeah, but there was a lot of 13s beating 3s.
Well, yeah, you let me get to that point now. Perfect. Good transition, Perez.
No problem.
Number 14, Georgia State, with their coach who had a torn Achilles tendon, over number 3, Baylor. He actually fell out of his chair when his son hit the game-winning 3 from downtown, absolute downtown. Fell out of his chair.
I saw that.
Cracked his cast, has to get recasted.
Yep.
He said, you know what, I don't care if I have to be in a body cast. If we make it to the Final Four or whatever, we make it further because I don't care what I got to do.
Right.
I'll do what I have to do to make it there.
I get it.
Number 11, UCLA over number 6, SMU, and what can be said as the controversial finish of the tournament. Apparently, there was a goal. I didn't see it. I saw some replays, but there was
no controversy. He goaltended.
That's what I thought, because a lot of it was someone took a picture and put on Twitter and said that's not goaltending. But you have to look at the angle of the shot.
The ball was coming down. It was near the rim. The guy jumped up and blocked it.
That's goaltending.
That's a goaltend.
Yeah.
Even if it's not going to go in. If there's a chance it's going to hit the rim, there's always a chance it's going to bounce, maybe hit the backboard, go in.
Even if it nicks the rim.
It was going towards the rim. The dude jumped up, blocked it. Dude threw it from the 3-point line. That's a goaltend.
Yeah.
No controversy. Stupid play on that guy's part.
Exactly. And then
Cost your team.
UCLA moves on. Number 14, UAB beats number 3, Iowa State.
Yes, they did.
And late last night, Friday night, number 11, Dayton over number 6, Providence.
That was a good game.
Tournament's
Not really.
been,
Actually, Dayton kind of spanked Providence.
Tournament's been good so far. Perez, I'll ask you, with the Gear Network a tournament bracket pick'em thing that we did with John and a few other people, who did you pick to win?
Kentucky.
As did I. Now, do you agree with my assessment that why wouldn't you pick Kentucky? Because why would you bet against the house?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a better question for you.
I was just going to keep going on, but just don't bet against the house
No,
anymore.
I have a better question for you.
What's up?
Why would you pick Notre Dame to win?
I don't know, John. Why would you pick Notre Dame to win?
What kind of pick is that? They almost lost in the first round. I don't really see them getting out of Saturday. Tonight? Do they play tonight?
They played Baylor.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat...
They don't play Baylor. They played Butler. I apologize.
Butler. I don't think they're going to beat Butler. Why would you pick Notre Dame to win the tournament?
Speaking of Butler, you know what's awesome about Butler?
What?
Their mascot is a bulldog.
That's a true story.
He's pretty cool. You can follow him on Instagram. Bulldog on Instagram. I'm going to get a bulldog one of these days. I promise you that.
I'm just saying, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Come
John,
on.
what are you thinking? Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on. Anyways, moving over to Major League Baseball now. We have another injury. Another funny, painful, interesting injury. Toronto Blue Jays outfielder Kevin Pillar out 7 to 10 days. A strained right oblique. Perez, take a wild guess what he did.
I got nothing for you.
He had a hard Sammy Sosa sneeze.
Come on.
Strained his oblique.
Come on.
I'm serious.
Seriously?
I read that story and I said, I cannot wait to tell Perez about this.
He sneezed?
Sneeze. Had a hard sneeze.
And he strained his oblique.
Strained his right oblique. Sorry about your luck, bro, but
Wow.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, you know what? I really got nothing to say. Like, normally I'll have a ton of sarcastic stuff to say. I got nothing for that. That is so ridiculous.
Unlucky. Yeah.
And I got nothing for that.
Mets pitcher Zach Wheeler next, the latest victim of the Tommy John craze. It's a craze because not because everyone's getting it, but because everyone's unfortunately.
I'm gonna go get one right now.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna get my elbow fixed right now, man. It's a cool thing, bro. No, it's not. It sucks, but tore his UCL. Tommy John surgery is imminent. He was expected to play a big role in their rotation this season. Speaking of messed up arms, Phillies place Cliff Lee on the 60-day disabled list with a left forearm strain, the same issue he had in 2014. He's going to try to avoid surgery. Most likely what's going to happen if he doesn't rehab well, he'll probably retire, which sucks because Cliff Lee was an interesting case. He pitched okay to start his career, then had a case of the yips or something, forgot how to pitch, ended up in AAA, found his game, comes back, one of the best pitchers in baseball over his stretch of time. And now he's probably over because of an elbow injury.
That's too bad.
Miami Marlins extend left fielder Christian Yelich a 7-year, $49.5 million contract. Reportedly, it's I've seen some different numbers, but we'll go with that. Excuse me. It's the second largest extension for a player with less than 2 years of service time. Andrelton Simmons of the Braves got $58 million in 2014. The Marlins are quietly spending money. Well, depends how you define quietly, but they're finally spending money, I should say. And
they needed to do something.
Well, they've got their core of young players, and they're just going to continue to build around them.
Right.
Which is shocking because we've all seen once the Marlins are good,
they get rid of
they just trade everybody.
We won a World Series. Let's trade everyone.
It's like, yeah, we won the World Series. Cool.
Yay.
Next year, we're going to start a bunch of 18-year-olds. I hope you'll like it.
That made no sense.
Moving on now to Perez's favorite segment of the podcast.
Yes.
The 2015 Gear Guy. Jose Barrios.
I don't have a problem with the podcast.
I'm talking about the name.
I just don't like the name, yeah.
I told you, come up with a name. We'll have a Gear Guy contest. You come up with a name. Perez, you're the only one in the contest. You come up with a name, we'll call it that, okay?
All you listeners, send me suggestions on MRLG Perez at Twitter or on Instagram. Direct message me. Come up with a better name than Gear Guy.
The hashtag Butts Guy. That's my entry.
No.
I thought it was good.
No.
It's a white person thing. You just don't understand.
Probably.
Jose Barrios was assigned to the minor league camp, not yet assigned to a team. He's getting stretched out for the beginning of the regular season. Obviously, he's going to be a starter.
Right.
But he did a lot of stuff that I read this week about him. He did certainly raise some eyebrows and gain some positive interest in his game.
That's good.
Throughout the Twins organization.
That's good.
I mean, when we've got head coach Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer, talking about glowing about your performance in 2 games, 2 outings, 6 innings pitched, as we mentioned last week. You're doing something right.
That's good
for a young kid who's got a nice career ahead of him. I'm very excited to follow this path.
That's good because
now, wouldn't it be funny because we're following his path?
I don't want to promote any losers.
We're following. I don't blame you.
Just playing.
We're following his path to the majors, to Rochester and on. But wouldn't it be funny if he just started in Rochester?
That'd be cool.
Problem solved.
No doubt. Just go say hi.
He might.
Just go say what's up.
Also,
gear guy.
Something to look out. I might need to make a bumper for that now with that chunk of text or that chunk of audio right there.
The gear guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
What I want to do at some point in time, real quick, people out there in Radioland, if you know something, let me know. I want to get a soundboard for my computer.
Yes.
Like an application. Because at some point in time, I want to be able to do live podcasts where we have, the commercials all potted up and stuff like that.
Yes.
So when I say, it's time to move on to the next segment, and you're like, oh, what are we going to talk about? I hit the button, and it goes, gear guy. And you're like, oh, yeah, man, that's what we're talking about. Stuff like that.
No doubt.
We're moving on. We're 35 episodes old. We're trying to change things up a little.
Gotta up our
I'm not going to sit there and put fart. I mean, when John's around, I'll put farts in, and I'll just hit farts whenever John talks.
Or you could just have John stand up and fart. You know how gaseous he is.
He is a fart machine. Yes, that's for sure. That's one thing I would put if anybody ever asked me, like, can you submit a suggestion for friendship with John Cimino? I would say, dude's a fart machine. He will fart whenever, wherever. He has no shame.
Yes, that's a true story.
Does not care.
It's a true story.
Nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, if you're into people farting. Just make sure you're not in an enclosed room.
It's really not my thing.
No.
You want a funny story?
Okay.
The next time you're on with John, ask him about the Brazilian fart porn.
Oh, I'm sure he's dying laughing as he hears this right now, but...
Oh, ask him about my reaction to seeing the Brazilian fart porn.
I will ask him that. Real quick, because we're almost at twice as long on the news this week. Who cares though? We're having fun.
We got to that big debate. Sorry.
Exactly, a mass debate, as you may.
No.
So I'll put it. I thought you were gonna laugh. That's why I said it.
No, because now you got the image in everyone's mind of 2 dudes sitting in a room with the microphone and what you just said. I don't want that image out there.
Moving on to the National Basketball Association, Oklahoma City having a terrible week. Serge Ibaka, knee procedure out 4 to 6 weeks, and Kevin Durant's rehab has been halted. There's more soreness in his foot. There's fear that his bone in his foot is not healed yet. So he probably won't play the rest of the season.
No, they shut him down today.
Yeah. The National for the season?
Yep.
Okay. Then he's out for the year. Thank you, Perez.
No problem.
Breaking news. The National Hockey League, the Penguins lose forward of Evgeny Malkin for 1 to 2 weeks, and Patrick Hornquist, both forwards, as I mentioned, for 1 week. Injuries. Bad time to get hurt.
That's a true story.
Florida extends defenseman Steven Kampfer for 2 years. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the news you need to know.
Now you know it.
Head into commercial break now. Hopefully we haven't not been echoing. If we are, it's just...
Sorry.
We'll just cut it out and have really short news segments. But when we come back from commercial break, going to say hello.
Hello.
To a lovely-looking lady.
I think we should create a new bumper for just the hello part. And it could be Lionel Richie's hello.
I was just about to say that. When you said we should make a bumper, I'm like, it has to be Lionel Richie.
Yes.
We'll do something with that. Just remind me after the podcast. And then we're going to go into story time.
Story time?
When we get back here. Exclusively, Better Live Than Dead Podcast, Gear Radio Network. While you're listening to this podcast, make sure you follow us on social media. You can follow me at WolfSHC on Twitter. You can also follow Mr. Perez at MRLG Perez. Make sure to like the podcast on Facebook. That's facebook.com/BLTD podcast. And make sure to follow Gear Network on Twitter at GERE Network.
Returning in April, ladies and gentlemen, it is the JC Money Show Uncensored. Think of it as Get Ready America without the radio-friendly-isms. Yeah, we're going to be talking to a few of my wrestling buddies about the recent Pier 6 Wrestling revelation, them not returning to action, or maybe they are, but just without their entire roster. We're going to talk to a few people that are in the know. We're also going to talk some news, sports, current events. Basically, like I said, Get Ready America without the radio edits. Parents, not the show you want your kids listening to, but you may want to listen to after you put them to bed. Exclusively here, this coming April, on the Gear Radio Network.
If I listen to your lies, would you say I'm a man without conviction? I'm a man who doesn't know how to sell a contradiction. You come and
Welcome back to Better Live Than Dead.
Better lot there, dude.
It's your boy Perez. It's all good.
It's Ryan Wolf. I felt like I wanted to be you for a second, Perez.
It's all good, man.
But I cannot be you.
No.
I just cannot be you.
It's okay.
I sound like a complete asshole when I do that.
No.
You make it sound good. I just sound like an idiot. Although I did purposely try to sound like an idiot there. So I did.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's okay.
You know what I should do?
Don't worry about it. What should you do?
I'm gonna do some editing magic here.
Okay.
After this, after we record the podcast.
All right.
But Perez,
Yes.
who do you want to say
Hello
hello
to?
to this week?
This week, I would like to say hello to a lovely, lovely Hispanic lady named Caprice. She's a model. Her name is, you can check her out on Twitter at Caprice Model. Very, very lovely young lady. Long dark hair, beautiful smile, great eyes. She's hot. And
What was the Instagram again?
Instagram? I don't know. I think it's Caprice. But Twitter is at Caprice Model.
Okay. I thought you said
So-
Instagram. I apologize.
I might have. I met Twitter. I know she's got an Instagram, but she doesn't always post to Instagram. So I just kind of chill with her on Twitter and just let her post her.
Oh, it's the same name on Instagram.
Is it? Okay.
Yes,
Makes
sir.
sense. So, yeah, she's hot. I would recommend checking her out.
I would not kick her out of bed.
For eating crackers, even.
She could do whatever she wanted.
Pretty much. So, she could eat crackers and spill crumbs on the bed, and I'd be all right with it. I'd be like, it's okay, baby. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, she's hot. I'd also like to say hello to Canada. Hi, Canada.
Canada is pretty cool.
Yeah. Ryan was taking a look at the
I was.
Model pictures.
Well, that's
He
why I
was-
said I would not kick her out of bed.
he was a little enthralled over there for a second.
I was lost. I was lost in.
So I don't blame you, dude.
Land.
She's pleasant.
Now,
She's pleasant to look at.
Absolutely.
She's got a really cute accent too. She's from Spain.
Ooh. I got to think about accents.
Yeah. Well, me too.
Absolutely.
Me too. Irish accent drives me crazy.
Well, we talked about this before, but
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the English accent.
Yeah, English isn't bad.
It all
English
depends.
isn't
It all
bad.
depends. Some
So-
of them can get annoying, but
Yeah.
other
You know
people-
whose accent I actually find kind of cute. It's going to sound funny, but Paige from WWE.
Don't even get me started on her, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't watch wrestling much, but when she came on TV, man, I'm like, I gotta turn the channel. I'm about to freak out. And then I heard her talk.
Yeah.
She's actually, I think she's dating the guitarist from A Day to Remember.
I don't know if they're actually dating anymore.
Well, they look pretty cozy.
I can't. I don't know. I know there was a big fight. I walked
Really?
into the bedroom the other day, and my wife was watching Total Divas.
Oh, that's all scripted stuff, dude.
Well, I'm sure it is, but like her and her man got into a fight because they had been dating like a month, and she wanted him to move in. Which
Oh,
no,
she's one of those.
yes,
One of those. Okay.
yes. So
Ugh.
no, he was like no. But then they got to a big fight.
Well,
So
you know.
and
I don't watch that, so I thought I was like breaking news or something.
And then I got up and walked out the room. So
Yeah, A lot of people like Total Divas. I'm not one of them. I don't even watch wrestling much anymore. I watched wrestling for the first time, I think, in like 5 or 6 months. I watched the segment with Sting when he showed up and hit people with a bat.
yes,
Speaking of wrestling,
dude, you got to check out Lucha Underground.
I have to say this. I might. I think I'm going to. And New Japan as well. I've not watched New Japan.
Lucha Underground is freaking awesome.
Did you see the video on YouTube that's going around called Wrestling Isn't Wrestling?
No.
You need to watch it.
I don't really watch wrestling anymore.
You have to watch this video.
I'll check it out on Monday sometimes just for certain things. But then every Wednesday on El Rey Network, I do check out Lucha.
A 24-minute video
Okay.
where a wrestling fan breaks down to you wrestling isn't wrestling, and it tells you what it is, and follows the career of Triple H and tells you exactly. Do you know who Chloe Dykstra is?
I've heard the name.
Look her up on the Instagram or the Google or whatever, on the Google machine. She plays Triple H. Every wrestler in it is a girl, which is hilarious. In the crowd, like throughout, there are, I would have to say, 25 to 30 cameos. Which if you don't enjoy the video, you got a problem. But if you're not enjoying the video, you'll at least enjoy the cameos. It's just so good, and you watch it, and you're like, this makes I watch wrestling, I understand what's going on. After watching that video, I'm like, wrestling makes more sense to me now.
Really?
After watching that video,
that's hilarious.
And it's great because obviously WWE is not going to comment on the video because it wasn't PG.
Right.
But there's a lot of talk that they were very, very, very pleased with, first off, how well the video is, how well it was done, like what happened, and then the response to the video.
I'm about to check it out.
Yeah, I would say, do yourself a favor, go look up Chloe Dykstra on Google machines. I got to text someone back really quick.
Well, you know what? Speaking of the WWE, I'm going to do a second hello. I never do this, but I'm going to say a second hello.
You're getting greedy with your hellos.
I am. I'm getting a little greedy today with the hellos. I'd like to say hello to Stephanie McMahon because, let's be honest, Daddy's Little Princess is pretty fine. I think Stephanie's really hot. And I think Triple H is a lucky dude.
That's her.
That's Chloe?
Yes.
I'd like to say hi to Chloe, too. There's three hellos in this podcast.
Is raining,
hi, Chloe.
It's raining hellos. Making it rain hellos in this
That's
podcast
right.
today.
Speaking of Chloe's, and I don't normally do this because I don't really.
It's just a day of not normally doing things.
Right.
He's living out all his.
I don't really care for the Kardashians. Okay. But Khloe Kardashian, I saw her the other day.
Is she OJ's kid?
Yes, her. Yeah, OJ's kid. She's put in some work lately. She's looking quite dynamite. I have to give her some credit because before she was kind of the frumpy one.
Yeah, I thought she was she's always been my favorite looking Kardashian.
Mine is Kourtney. Kourtney is gorgeous. I would have to see
him picture in picture.
Kourtney is gorgeous. For having 3 kids, Kourtney is dynamite. She's got a beautiful face, great body. But Khloe has put in some work. Like, she's lost weight, she's gotten herself in shape, and she still has a fat donkey dog. So it's a beautiful thing.
You know what I love about this podcast every week, Perez?
What?
It's like, you know when you go out to a fancy restaurant?
Yes.
And you have a great first meal.
Right.
They come out with a sorbet before you have the dinner.
Yes.
I feel like we have the podcast with like the sports, and we start off with the sports, and we get hardcore into sports. I don't know why I just did that, but
you missed the arm motion he just made.
Really weird face, you know. We get really crazy into sports, and then we go to commercial. We come back, and we just completely change the whole topic
direction.
Of the show.
Right? Exactly.
We have your segments, and then we go back to sports. It's like you're like the sorbet of the
right.
podcast. It's
That's
great.
Right.
It's great because you know what?
I feel like if you didn't, the palate cleanser.
I feel like if you didn't, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it clears my brain. It gets the sports. You know, if I went from like the news just to directly 2 segments,
right?
We probably would just be spewing the same crap.
Probably.
But it kind of it clears the brain. You hit the reset button. It's nice.
So hello to Caprice, Stephanie McMahon, Chloe, and Chloe.
I'm pretty excited right now. I just got my email telling me I got $30 in cashback bonus on my Discover card.
Cool.
I'm pretty pumped about that.
So now you have a $30 credit limit.
That's free money right there.
Awesome.
Now it's time to move over to the story time segment. But first, Perez, before you even start to talk, I'm going to hijack this real quick. Because you know what? It's perfect. It's a perfect time. I don't want to talk about it in a segment. I don't want to talk about it in news. I want to talk about it right here in the story time segment.
Okay.
Story time with Ryan Wolf.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for story time with Ryan Wolf. I'm getting hijacked right now.
We just made. I could probably cut that, and now we can just make that
a bumper for you
right there.
Yeah,
We just
right
did
there.
it. We're working hard as we work hard, people.
That's right.
Best podcast around. Okay. Buffalo Sabres fans. I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan. Diehard Buffalo Sabres fan.
I'm not.
I spend all my free time working for Sabres Hockey Central,
Right.
writing stories,
Right.
making sure that the fans who aren't as in the know as I am
Right.
isn't as in the know as I am. I try to keep them as updated as
Yes.
possible. Obviously, you know Perez. I go to many games.
You do.
In the press box, all that stuff.
Right.
One thing that's completely pissed me off recently.
Okay.
Completely pissed me off.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, the Buffalo Sabres are dead last in the National Hockey League. They have a 3-point lead as we speak over the Arizona Coyotes for last place, which is a guaranteed first or second overall pick in the draft.
Right.
But the Sabres have been playing a little better lately. They haven't been winning a lot, but they've been playing better. And a lot of people have been saying to me, Ryan, Ted Nolan is against the tank.
Okay.
And I just want to strike someone in the face.
Is he going to hear this podcast?
How I guess ignorant, I want to say, are you to sit there and try to tell me or anybody that you believe that because the organization is not playing as bad as you want them to, that the head coach who's going to be fired is going against the tank?
Okay.
This man gets paychecks from the organization. He had no job in the National Hockey League until Pat LaFontaine called him and did him a solid when he came back, and then general manager Tim Murray kept him around.
Okay.
So how are you going to sit there and tell me this guy's purposely going against it because he wants to screw the future of the franchise because they're going to screw him because he's not going to have a job?
Which kind of doesn't make any sense. Because
It doesn't make any sense.
If you're going to get one of the top 2 picks, you're obviously going to draft something good.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's a terrible coach anyways. But the other thing that really pisses me off is that people are acting like entitled little brats at this point.
Okay.
Like, the National Hockey League does not owe you anything, Buffalo Sabres fans.
No.
So, if the Sabres... I would almost, at this point, I almost want the Sabres to draft 3rd or 4th. Just because I'm sick and tired of these annoying-ass people complaining. I mean, a lot of them are good people.
Right.
But there's some people out there that are just, like, I get tweets every other day at least.
Right.
About, Ted Nolan's going to ruin the tank for Mick Eichel, or Ted Nolan's going to do this. I'm like, shut up. Seriously. I just cannot handle it.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm just very mad about it. There's a lot more I want to say.
Go say it.
I'm trying to. I just got mad and
This is
my
the
brain
forum.
my brain is boiling.
Is it?
And I just am like
I
losing
can
where
see
I'm
the
at.
steam coming out
Yeah.
your ears, man.
But you know what? If I see someone use the hashtag because it's Buffalo, if the Sabres don't get the first overall pick, I may have to find out where you live
It comes to their house.
and come crack you across the head with your laptop.
Okay. All right.
That's one thing that you'll see happen a lot on Twitter if you follow a lot of people from Buffalo. The first time something happens, they go hashtag because it's Buffalo. No.
I'm headed to Buffalo today.
Me too. I love Buffalo.
And I'm going to stop and get myself a cigar at the Tinderbox.
I'm going to go to...
hashtag because it's Buffalo.
I'm going to go to a Casa de Pizza, have some beer and chicken wings, and meet some friends. Hashtag because it's Buffalo. That's cool stuff.
Is that what it's called? Casa de Pizza?
Yeah. You have chicken wings because it's Buffalo. You don't lose out in the first pick because it's Buffalo. Do you get what I'm saying?
Everyone appreciates Buffalo for the chicken wings.
Yeah.
I don't even like Buffalo as a city.
You go to Buffalo, I'm getting chicken wings, hashtag because it's Buffalo. Not the Sabres lost the first overall pick, hashtag because it's Buffalo. Because I'll punch you in your face, hashtag because it's Buffalo.
I'm going to guess, and I'm just going out on a limb here, but you're ready to punch some people in the face.
I don't like to strike people in the face.
Hashtag because it's Buffalo.
I like to say I'm going to punch people in the face. It makes me sound tough,
You know, if you want, I can do it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I got no issues with that.
I got, brittle hands and stuff,
I don't.
I know you are.
So,
You're a pretty tough dude.
yeah.
My security. You're my, security, my co-host.
Right.
My security team.
No, I got some good friends who live in Buffalo. I'm not a fan of the city. I like Buffalo more than I like Syracuse, though. Syracuse is laid out kind of weird. Getting around Syracuse is weird. It's kind of dirty.
I've never in my life been to Syracuse. I've driven by Syracuse. I've seen the sign that says, "Hey, Syracuse, next 6 exits or whatever," but I just keep on driving.
Destiny USA, though, is a really cool mall.
I heard about that. Yeah, I want to go there sometime.
It's
It's
big.
the people that own the Grease Mall, right? It's just like a giant outlet store. With,
Yeah, it's big. So they got an outlet area.
That's what she said.
So nice.
Now Perez. Perez.
Yes.
I'm better. I'm back to earth. Welcome
You good?
Back. Welcome back. Yes,
You good?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're back to earth.
Hey, man, it's cool, bro. If you got to vent, you got to vent. Get it out there, man.
I probably should have wrote down my thoughts before I vented because I feel like when I started
sometimes
venting,
it's better just to go off like, you know.
Just don't. Just stop, please. Everybody stop. Like, the Sabres are bad. They're going to be bad. You can't help it if the Coyotes are just as bad. The Coyotes are like 1-17 and won in their last 19 games or something like that. They're purposely trying to lose.
Right.
I don't think necessarily the Sabres are purposely trying to lose, but they're not putting good lineups out there. But you can't help it if the goal, like the Anders Lindback has been playing better. Yes, you want to know why he's been playing better? Because he's been seeing 37 or 38 shots a game. If you see 37 or 38 shots a game, you're gonna get sharp real quick.
You hope.
And he was bad in Dallas.
Right.
But he got better because it's the same thing. He said, I'm seeing more shots. If you don't want him to be so good, play better defense.
That's a true story. That is a true story.
We're going to talk more about the Sabres soon, I promise. I got some friends all over the hockey world.
Okay.
Some guys who work for radio that are going to be on Talk the Amherst and some prospects. Got a guy who works for NHL.com who I'm actually going to talk to today, who will come on and talk probably the draft soon.
Excellent.
Have a big hockey roundtable podcast.
Down with it.
Have a lot of fun. But now that I'm not making this about me anymore, Perez. We're almost at an hour long. We haven't even hit the segments yet. So I'm going to send it over to you. Story time. Mr. Perez.
Oh, yeah, look at that. It's almost 11 o'clock.
Right now.
Huh?
Gather round, kids. It's story time with Mr. Perez.
Okay, so for story time this week, I had a couple stories I was going to tell you. But then I had a situation reminded me of another story, and then you started talking about black eyes earlier today,
Yeah.
so I was like, I got another story for that. So I'm going to rattle off a couple of quick stories at you. When I was in high school, we'll go with the black eye one. You said it looked like I have a black eye, which I don't.
Maybe you're just tired.
It's very possible. I'm also probably sitting in shadows right now. There's no light on in this room. But when I was in high school, I think it was like my 11th my 11th grade year, maybe my sophomore year, I bent down to pick up a basketball. And at the same time that I bent down to pick up the basketball, someone kicked it. They didn't kick it on purpose. They were already going to kick it, and I didn't realize that, and I got kind of in the way. Basketball hit me in the bridge of my nose.
But who the hell kicks a basketball?
Oh, dude, they were just trying to get it across the court to someone else, so no big deal. But so it hits me in my nose, and I blacked out. Like, it knocked me out for a second. And when I came to, I was still pretty woozy. But I was like, I'm good. Don't worry about it. No big deal. Whatever. So I go to my next class, and I'm like woozy. I'm dizzy. I'm sitting at my desk, and we were supposed to take a test. And it took me 25 minutes to answer 2 questions. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I answered them correctly because I was pretty out of it. And it looked like I had 2 black eyes. Speaking of the black eyes, that's what we brought it up. It looked like I had 2 black eyes because the ball hit me like right in the bridge of my nose. Like, I seriously think my nose was broken.
That's pretty bad, man.
So I say to my teacher, listen, teacher, I need to go see the nurse. And the nurse had a class going on at that time, and we were on the 2nd floor of the school. So I go to the nurse's class. I knock on the door. Someone opens the door. The nurse says, "Can I help you?" And I say, "I don't feel," and I look at the girl I was dating at the time, and then I passed out. Now, the nurse was a pretty beefy lady. We were on the 2nd floor. Nurse's office was on the 1st floor. I came to, and I had a wet white cloth over my head, over my face, and I was facing the window, and the sun was streaming into the window. So when I came to, all I could see was like a cloudy white substance. I literally, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought I was dead. I thought I was in heaven. Like, I was like, where am I? And I sat up, and the cloth fell off my face, and realized I was in the nurse's office. But here's the thing. I was in the nurse's office. I passed out on the second floor. Her office was on the first floor.
Did she like throw you over her shoulder?
That's what I'm thinking, bro. Like, I seriously, she was a beefy lady. I seriously think she bent down, picked me up, threw me over her shoulder. So.
This happens all the time.
Right, exactly. Or she had a couple guys pick me up. To this day.
Push you down. You should have asked. I would have.
I can't tell you how I got downstairs to this day. Because literally, like, I passed out. So I have no idea what happened between the time that I passed out and woke up with the wet cloth over my face, making me think I was in heaven. So I was at my. So that's one of the stories. Like, that's a pretty funny story. Like, I seriously thought I was dead. Then the other.
Not funny, but
no, right.
Looking back on it,
Exactly. The other day, I was at my mom and my sister are teachers. So I ran by the school to visit them real quick. I had to pick something up. And I'm sitting in the room talking with my mom and my sister because they were having lunch together. And some of my sister's students came in for like a study hall time. And one of the girls that was sitting at a table says to another person sitting at the table with them, I think that's the guy with the flashlight incident. Now, there's a story that my sister likes to tell because it's a pretty funny story. So I'm going to just tell that story real quick. And my sister was like, yeah, that's my brother. He's the guy with the flashlight incident. So, do you remember many, many moons ago, the whole East Coast had a blackout?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so during the blackout, I took my sister to Walmart to get her some flashlights. Mm-hmm. And obviously flashlights at that point were like flying off the shelf. So when we got to Walmart, there were no flashlights. So this guy turns the corner and he literally had like 6 flashlights in his arm. And he came back to see if there was more flashlights. Like, why you need 6 flashlights? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, you buying them for a multitude of people? But, so he has 6 flashlights in his arm. So I immediately rush over to him. I grab him by his collar, and I pick him up. And I'm like, you have 6 flashlights. You don't need 6 flashlights. My sister does not have a flashlight. Give her a flashlight. And so he goes, okay. And he goes to hand my sister a blue mag light. So I was like, Rachel, what color do you want? She was like, silver. I was like, she doesn't want blue. She wants silver. Give her the silver flashlight. And so he was like, okay, here, take it. And like, dude, I seriously think I made this poor guy during the blackout piss his pants in Walmart. And so he hands my sister the silver flashlight. And she's like, thank you. And I'm like, do you want anything else? And she's like, no, I'm good. So I let the guy drop, and I'm like, okay, you can go.
Sorry about your troubles.
Yeah. So that was the flashlight incident.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny one. Last night, I'm at Gigi's, which is an Italian restaurant in Irondequoit that makes very good Italian food. If you like Italian food, you should go check out Gigi's. And there was a bunch of people at the bar, okay? And there was a guy in a wheelchair at the bar. And he was sitting up on one of the bar stools. And he had to go to the bathroom, I'm assuming. So he asked someone to help him off the bar stool and into his wheelchair, okay? So the guy picks the dude up that needs to go into the wheelchair, goes to put him in the wheelchair, and completely misses the wheelchair.
Oh, my God.
Dude just dropped this dude on the floor. Just dropped him on the floor. Like, first of all, the wheelchair was right there. How do you miss the wheelchair? Like, you were aiming for the wheelchair. You started to set him in the wheelchair, and the dude ended up on the floor. It was crazy. It kind of made me laugh. And it only made me laugh because he laughed. If he hadn't laughed, I'd have been like, yo, those dudes are dicks.
It's kind of one of those things where, like, you see somebody fall.
Right.
And then your first instinct is like, oh my God, are you okay? When they say yeah, then you start laughing at them.
Yes. But this was like, my first instinct was like, yo, should I go help that dude? Because he was in a wheelchair. And you just dropped him on the floor. That's messed up.
Terrible people are terrible, man.
One more quick one, and I'll end it.
Okay.
The other day, I took my wife lunch.
You took your wife lunch?
Yes.
Wife to lunch?
No, I took her lunch.
Oh, okay.
I didn't take her lunch. Like, give me your lunch. I didn't steal her lunch. Like, give me your lunch. I went to her job with food for her.
Okay.
So I took her lunch to work.
You brought her lunch.
I brought her lunch.
Thank you.
And I go to the Bellas, and I say to the lady behind the counter at the Bellas, when she says, "What would you like on your sub?" I say to her, "I would like a very light amount of mayonnaise. I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise." So I'm like, "Give me a very light amount." And she throws this huge glob of mayonnaise onto my sandwich. And so I'm like, "That's a lot of mayonnaise, lady." So she like spreads it out. And I'm like, "Lady, I said a very light amount of mayonnaise." And so she starts scraping it off the bread. But while she's scraping it off the bread, she is pushing it deeper into the bread. And so I'm like, "Lady, like, that's not what I asked for." And so my wife is calling it the Great Mayonnaise Incident of 2015. Because the lady didn't switch my bread out. And when I got back to eat, there was like gobs of mayonnaise like falling off the sandwich.
Ugh,
It was disgusting. I wasn't very happy about that. And then, oh, you know what? One more quick one. Today, on the way here, I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts for 2 donuts and a bottle of water. You would think that's a simple order. But the lady in the drive-thru counter says, "Hi, welcome to Dunkin' Donuts. What can I get for you today?" And I'm like, "Let me get a Boston cream donut, a double chocolate donut, and a bottle of water." The conversation then proceeded to go a little something like this. "So, you want a Boston cream donut and what else?" I'm like, "A double chocolate donut and a bottle of water." "So, you want a Boston cream donut and a bottle of water and a double chocolate donut." I would like 2 donuts, a Boston cream donut, double chocolate donut, and a bottle of water. "So you want 2 donuts and a bottle of water?" Yes, I would like 2 donuts and a bottle of water." "So you want a Boston cream, and what was the second donut?" "Really, lady? I said a double chocolate donut." Like, dude, she had to verify 5 times that I wanted a Boston cream, a double chocolate, and a bottle of water. And fortunately, that was in my bag. But it shouldn't take 5 times to verify a double chocolate donut, a Boston cream donuts, and a bottle of water. People are stupid.
Well, I could have told you that one.
Yes.
Could have told you that one.
But I was ready to, like, yeah, dude. I was ready to say some stuff when I got up to the drive-thru window. Like, why do you people hire idiots? Why do you hire idiots? But I guess idiots need jobs too.
Yeah, someone's got to make up the bottom of the food chain, right?
That's a true story. And they want to pay these dudes $15 an hour.
That's a conversation we can have for a different day.
You want to pay these people $15 an hour?
Well, that way it'll take 4.5 hours for them to get your order right.
Dude, the people who want to make the minimum wage $15 an hour need to go study economics to see how the system really works. It's not going to work, people. Stop it.
I just want to get a raise, man.
Yes, raises are always nice, but you know what? If you're flipping my burger, you know what you don't deserve? $15 an hour.
You know what we do deserve, though?
What's up?
Commercial break.
Yeah. Well, I'm done with story time now.
I just saw you just like turn it from 12 down to like 1 in like that.
Well, because you know what? I'm done with story time, and like I started to get on that whole kick with the fits. I'll go off. Like I don't want to do that.
I know. That's why I got to cut you off.
Yeah, that's a good idea because I will say some stuff about that
when we come back from these commercial breaks. Major League Baseball. Interesting question I want to ask Perez. Quick discussion when we get back here. Better Live Than Dead podcast.
This free and independent sportscast is made possible when you shop the Gear Network store through Amazon. Visit GearNetwork.com and click on the Amazon banner to shop through Amazon's thousands of products at great prices delivered right to your front door. Again, that's GearNetwork.com and click the Amazon banner at the top.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Living the dream. I'm actually just getting ready to do this commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial where I tell our listeners to tune into Gear Network every week to listen to our show, Get Ready America? That one?
Yeah, John, that's the one.
They can also listen to us talk about news, sports, whatever's on our minds, that...
And a little what's on our listeners' minds, but they're just too nice to say it.
Well, that, Don, is a real humdinger. Come join us this and every week for Get Ready America exclusively on the Gear Radio Network.
And the Gear Network app.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. It's time to root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you out at the old ball game.
William Hung, with his glorious rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, brings us back here on the Better Live Than Dead podcast. Ryan Wolf, Mr. Perez.
Glorious might be pushing it.
It's amazing. I know there's one person right now who's probably laughing very hard.
Oh, I hope there's a bunch of people laughing very hard.
I know one person in particular.
Who?
John.
Oh, yeah, with John, yes. Yes, for obvious reasons. If you listen to any of John's podcasts,
You'll know why he's laughing.
You'll know why he's laughing.
Now, the question I have for you, Perez, just to get right into it, do the rules need to change regarding service time? Now, Yahoo Sports points out this week. What's so funny?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
You can't just laugh and not say why you're laughing.
It was the way you framed that question. I have a dirty mind.
Well, I figured that's what you're going for. Well, here's the deal. Cubs third baseman Chris Bryant should make the team out of camp. And this was an article, I must point out first, Yahoo Sports wrote the article, got the idea working in my brain cells. Cubs third baseman Chris Bryant, who's batting .435 this spring, 6 home runs and 23 at-bats, should make the team out of camp.
Right.
But if he spends 12 days or 9 games in AAA, his service clock is delayed 1 year. The rule is the season lasts 183 days. So if he spent 172 days on the roster, that's a year.
Okay.
But if he delays his service clock a year, he becomes a free agent after his, I believe it's his 29-year-old season. So essentially, the question is this season worth more than that season? If not, sit him in AAA or play him in AAA for 9 games or 12 days. Then bring him back. Do you think that rule needs to be changed?
Yeah, it's kind of a stupid rule.
And I agree with you, because you look at guys like Evan Longoria, Steven Strasburg, Bryce Harper. Last year, George Springer, Gregory Polanco. Everybody has to go through it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's kind of stupid.
Like, why are you going to penalize a franchise trying to make the playoffs because you can't have one of your potentially best players for 12 days.
Yeah. It's time to change that.
And it's going to keep happening until something changes. Like, Scott Boras is not very happy about it. I mean, then again, what is Scott Boras happy about?
Not much.
But I mean, it seems like a scenario where, those 9 games, I mean, I don't think the Cubs are going to be, world beaters this season. But those 9 games,
probably not.
But those 9 games, if they go 2-7 or 1-8 or 3-6 or whatever,
right, that
could in the long run affect their season.
Absolutely.
Because Chris Bryant could show up and they could go on a tear and whatever, and they could miss. What if they missed the playoffs by 2 or 3 games?
Yeah, that's a stupid rule. It's time to change that rule.
It just seems very interesting to me. Excuse me. It seems very interesting to me that it seems kind of like an archaic rule.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that Major League Baseball does that's kind of archaic. It might be time to catch up on some of the. Although I do like the fact that they might be going to that stop clock for in between.
Well, they're going
pitches.
to do the times between the innings, but they might do it like a shot clock for pitching, which I don't think that's going to last. But I do believe.
I think that's a good idea. I think it should last.
Well, I think they're going to be regulating it more. Yes. Like the games are going to go a little faster because it's not going to be 10 minutes between innings. It's, you go to commercial. You go to commercial break. I'm going to get in this picture Perez is taking. He just took a picture. That's why there was so much silence. He made a crazy white person face. between innings, it's going to be faster, which is nice. The game should be a little quicker. You shouldn't. I mean, Red Sox Yankees will still probably be 3 or 4 hours long, but that's Red Sox Yankees. I mean, that's
Yeah, but you know what? It's like you take so much time in between pitches,
in between innings.
Yourself. Yeah, in between innings too, but they adjust themselves and then they tap the bat on their cleats and
grab your junk. If you're Nomar, you click, 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 click,
Right.
click, 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 click with your gloves. So it's I don't know, man. I'm to the point now where Major League Baseball is almost back. It's the second to last week of March. I already bought my Major League Baseball TV subscription. I got a tablet to watch baseball on. It's going to be a good time here at the Wolf Den Studios Gear Network.
I'm looking forward to the return of baseball.
Excuse me, I just made like a sentence up there. I don't know why I just started throwing random words in a sentence.
You do that sometimes.
It is what it is, man.
It's all good, man.
Now, that was a short segment. I thought that would be a little deeper, but we're running short on time today, so I just kind of wanted to ask you if you felt that needed to be changed.
I think it does. I think it's stupid.
And we're going to continue talking about rule changes, because next segment, National Football League, we get to that point of the year where teams can submit potential rule changes, and we get to laugh at them and look at them and talk about them. So
I'm looking forward to that.
Short baseball segment. We do apologize if you want to talk more about baseball. We'll be back next week to talk baseball.
Really
But
not
now-
a lot going on right now with baseball.
Not a lot. Just guys straining their obliques by sneezing.
Which is hilarious.
It is hilarious. When we get back here on the Better Live Than Dead podcast,
Hi, Caprice.
hello. We're going to
Stephanie.
talk.
Chloe and Chloe.
Hello.
And
Had hit 'em
Canada.
all. Hello. Had hit them all. Had hit them all. When we get back, we'll talk National Football League rule changes, potential rule changes. Here, Better Live Than Dead podcast, Gear Radio Network. Perez, I must ask you,
What ask me?
how did you do this year in fantasy football?
Man, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, guess what?
I don't want to talk about it, man.
I've got good news for you.
What?
FanDuel
Yes.
allows you to win all that money back that you lost
That's good because I lost a lot of money.
in fantasy football. But here's the catch.
What's the catch?
Fantasy hockey, fantasy basketball, 1 week leagues.
That doesn't sound like a catch to me.
You can win a lot of money.
I like that.
Just like you did with the fantasy football on FanDuel, you can win it with hockey, with basketball. Check it out, gearnetwork.com/FanDuel. You get the money on FanDuel. You help us out over at the Gear Network. We get money, you get money. Everybody's happy, and Perez is happy because he won all that money back from
I'll be real happy about
fantasy football, which he lost because, well, Perez is really bad at fantasy football.
Oh, man, don't even talk about it.
Do you enjoy listening to Better Live Than Dead, but you're not always by your laptop to hear it on GearNetwork.com? Not to worry, we've got you covered. Better Live Than Dead and all other Gear Network podcasts can now be heard on iHeartRadio, iTunes, in the Zune Marketplace, on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher Radio, and on TuneIn Radio. So make sure you get one of the aforementioned apps to stay up to date with the latest Gear Network podcasts.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
Welcome back. Better Live Than Dead podcast, Gear Radio Network.
Hola.
First
What's up,
off,
peoples?
First off, before we start, some sad news to pass along. This morning, the Philadelphia Eagles have confirmed that legend Chuck Bednarik. I feel like I'm bad with names.
You say that every week, bro.
I am. I'm so bad with names. Chuck Bednarik, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Philadelphia Eagles legend, passed away. I believe it was age 89.
That's too bad.
It is. He was one of the legends of the NFL way back when. And it's never cool losing legends of the game. So,
Yeah, that's a shame.
thoughts with the family,
Rest in peace.
and now we'll move on to rule changes.
Rule
Now, as we mentioned,
changes.
it's funny because there's some that came across the board. Like I'll go through the list, but it's funny to go look at the rule changes that have been suggested and then who suggests them. Like for instance, the Lions
Right.
coming off their loss last season against Cowboys, where there was that questionable call that was pass interference, wasn't called. They want to make
Yes.
sure you can challenge every penalty, which is ridiculous.
Okay.
Stuff like so. It's funny, but let's start. And we'll just do a quick yes or no because there's quite a list of these. Rule changes allow and first off, thanks ProFootballTalk.com for getting the list together because I wasn't going to do it. Rule changes allow any call to be challenged.
No.
That's a slippery slope. That's a big no.
Oh, God, no.
Allow penalties to be challenged, which I believe is the rule that the Lions were looking at.
I'm cool with that.
I think that you've got something there.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a pass interference and you know it wasn't a pass interference, challenge the play. The rule's not pass interference because with the pass interference rules now, a guy can dive in the end zone and they call it pass interference and then you're screwed.
Right.
Coaches to challenge personal fouls, like a roughing the passer, roughing the kicker, hit on a defenseless receiver.
I think that's a good one.
I think the hit on a defenseless receiver is going to be one that gets some play.
Yeah.
Maybe roughing the quarterback.
Yeah, because that's a good one. Because sometimes you see those roughing the quarterback calls and like they barely got touched, or it was like a whiff and the ref was just in a wrong spot and throws the flag.
Allow personal fouls to be reviewed, but not necessarily on coaches' challenges.
Yeah, sometimes there's personal fouls that are called that aren't personal fouls.
That's true. So, like, have like a TV booth upstairs that they say, no, that wasn't.
Yeah.
Let's look it over. I could see that. Make all fouls that result in an automatic first down reviewable.
No.
That's a slippery slope as well.
Yeah, that's a slippery
slope.
Because
I get it. If a pass interference happens and it's a first down, yeah, review it.
Right.
But if there's a holding call on 3rd and 1 and you don't think it was a holding call,
right,
it's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Let's see here. Allow replay review of rulings related to hits on defensive receivers. As we said before, I'm thinking that one will get some traction over the next couple of years, if not this year. Review every foul for hits on defenseless players. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yep.
I don't know if that one will go through, but this one's interesting. Increase the number of coaches' challenges from 2 to 3. Instead of having to win 2 to get to 30, you automatically have 3. Once you run out of 3, you're done.
Okay.
That seems like and that's from what I read. That was a fairness to the game rule to keep the game fair. Everyone gets 3 challenges, whatever. Cool.
I'm all right with that one.
Add the game clock at the end of the half and the end. Add the game clock at the end of the half and end of the game to the list of things that can be reviewed on replay.
No.
That one's a tough one. Because you get guys that run to the line with 1 second left and spike the ball and they say the game's over. They may have a second left, but those situations are few and far between. I don't think that one happens.
Yeah, no, I'm not down with that.
Add the play clock to things that can be reviewed on replay. I say no.
We're not soccer.
No.
This isn't stoppage time.
The Patriots come up with the next one. Put fixed cameras on all boundaries of the playing field, sidelines, and goal line so you have a clear view. So instead of the overhead camera,
I like
you have
that.
Straight look across the line and see if he broke the plane.
I'm cool with that.
That's a good one.
It's a good idea.
Here's the crazy one. And I'm gonna say this straight faced. Coming from the Colts owner who has a checkered past of doing some terrible things. I'm not saying that he's crazy to think about this, but this is kind of crazy. If you go for a 2-point conversion and get the 2-point conversion, you then can kick a field goal to make it a 9-point play.
If you get the 2-point conversion,
score a touchdown.
Right.
2-point conversion is good. You have 8 points. If you make that, you can kick a field goal from I think like 35 yards out to get an extra point.
No.
Someone asked if that would make it the XFL.
Yeah, probably. That's a stupid one. Because now you're just extending the game.
Well, not just that, but it would create for more scoring, it would make more excitement, but that's not going to happen. That's like the 18-game season. It would create more excitement, but it's not going to happen.
No.
Do not allow players to push rushers when a team is punting. This is already the rule for field goals and extra points. Probably just a safety thing, just so guys aren't getting hurt.
So when they're punting, you just stand up. No,
you can rush,
pushing.
but you can't push. I guess, yeah.
No, that's dumb.
Guarantee both teams a possession in overtime.
I'm cool with that.
That creates more excitement.
I'm cool with that.
Absolutely. Ban peel back blocks on any offensive player. That seems very fair.
Yes.
Give defenseless players defenseless receiver protection and interceptions. That's also probably one to get past.
Yeah.
If there's a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, or taunting at the end of the first half, it will carry over to the second half. That seems fair because guys don't seem to care about getting that penalty.
No.
Ban running backs. Ban running backs from chop blocking outside the tackle box. That safety thing, it seems fair.
Well, it's kind of already banned. You can't chop block anyway.
Well, no, if you don't, apparently it's not because they're trying to get it banned. So, if
that's a slippery slope because a lot of people will go for the legs. Yeah. Like you go for the thighs, and sometimes you're not meaning to chop block, but they'll get called on a legit hit it'll be a legit hit and people will get caught for chop block. So I don't know, because that's going to make any hit below the waist almost, non-doable. So I don't know if I'm cool with that rule.
Got this damn, whatever this stuff is.
A lot of Velcro.
Velcro, that's what I couldn't think. I thought Vortex for some reason.
No, not
I'm
Vortex.
still sleeping. Velcro. This one's from the Patriots. Allow linebackers to wear 40 through 49 in addition to 50 through 59 and 90 to 99. Just a housekeeping note. I think it's just, it probably will get passed just because.
Okay.
Just because with how defensive linemen are playing linebacker. It's just a housekeeping thing.
Right.
Last rule change that was asked for. Talk about being salty. Remember when the Patriots pulled a fast one on the Ravens and had the wide receiver out, but he was ineligible? And
I thought that was a great play.
They want to. They're trying to get that rule banned.
No. That's stupid. That was a good play. If your team's not ready for it.
It's not even that it was a good play. It's the fact that the Patriots knew the rule book and executed it perfectly. Like, I hate the Patriots.
It was a good play.
One thing they do perfectly, it's know the rule book and know how to execute the rule book.
Yeah, you know what?
Oddly enough.
If you don't want to get beat by something like that, know the rules. Know the rules.
A couple of bylaw proposals to talk about. Eliminate the 75-player cut down. Sure.
Okay.
Expand rules to allow teams more contact with draft-eligible players. Okay.
All right.
Permit teams that play on Thursday to designate one player eligible to return from the active list from injured reserve. That seems fair. Permit players on the PUP to begin practicing earlier. Also seems fair.
Yes.
And then a resolution. Allow teams with retractable roofs to open the roofs during halftime shows.
I got no problem with that either.
Sure.
I didn't realize that you couldn't do that.
Apparently you can't, but that's been our football talk. When we get back.
I know it's halftime, but don't touch a roof.
When you close the roof, it's got to stay closed.
What's the point of that? I mean, wind, possible, was stupid. Let them open the stupid roof.
It just seems like a thing that, hey, I look at the rule I got passed.
Ridiculous.
That was our fun football segment. The segments, the segments weren't great this week. They were kind of, we did more of the talking earlier, but.
Weigh in. Let us know what you guys think of those rules.
Should teams be allowed to open the roof
why
for
not?
the halftime shows?
What's the big deal?
Let us know.
Yeah. If it's not raining or whatever.
Burning, hot, scalding takes we want.
We do. Reach out to us.
At MRLG Perez, at Wolf SHC with an E on Twitter.
Yes.
Let us know.
Yes.
Send all your hate mails to
Facebook.
@JC
Yes, do that right there.
When we get back with Better Live Than Dead podcast, we're going to close up shop. Got a few thank yous.
Hi, Caprice.
And then we'll send this bad boy home. Next, Better Live Than Dead podcast.
Hi, Gear Network listeners. The song of the month was selected by Better Live Than Dead's Ryan Wolf. It is Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars. And if you like this song, you can purchase it through our Gear Network link from both Amazon and iTunes. Right now, if you head to GearNetwork.com, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime, which includes Prime Music. You'll be able to listen to this and other songs from Amazon Music's vast collection of songs as often as you would like. Or if you just want to download the song, you can purchase it for $1.29 on both Amazon and iTunes right from our website. Your purchase continues to support our free programming. Remember, that is GearNetwork.com, powered by Amazon and iTunes.
A successful product does not become a successful product on its own. Look at the Gear Radio Network, for example. We're a prime example. We had a lot of help getting here, and we can help you get where you want to go to. Advertising rates are very low to start off here on the Gear Radio Network. Visit us at GearNetwork.com. Click on the contact link to send us an email, and we can work out the details. Again, advertise your product across all of the forums at a low, low rate here on the Gear Radio Network.
Welcome back to the podcast.
I said you were. That was. I started to talk and then I lost my train of thought. So on the picture that I just loaded up to Instagram, and you can follow me on Instagram at MRLG Perez. That's Mr. LG Perez, which is pretty much my common username, which is about everything. And you can check out Wolf and Steiner. That would be Ryan Wolf's Instagram.
Yes. That would be correct, Mr. Perez.
You can check us out there. But I just tagged you, said you were looking crazy in that picture.
Thank you.
Well, you were looking a little crazy in that picture.
I got the eyes.
Yeah.
My last name is Wolf. I got to live up to the crazy.
Right.
I'm not going to eat anybody, but, you know.
So, let me ask you a question, because I've never asked this.
Ask me.
I've always wondered.
Okay.
Wolfensteiner. Steiner.
When I was in high school, my junior year of high school, my science teacher, I was my friend Shenny and myself, which we were hanging out. We never did any work, but he was like, it was a class to get credit to graduate. And so we would just hang out. And then one day he just called me Wolfensteiner. Like Frankenstein, but Wolfensteiner.
Okay.
Because you get that game Wolfenstein?
Right.
They copied me, dog. I'm about to sue their ass.
Did they now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always thought about getting like a wolf drawn up on like Frankenstein's head, like Wolfenstein. I thought that would be pretty cool. But it just stuck. Because, you know, everyone calls me like Wolfie or whatever. I'm just like, I'm just going to stick with the nickname I think is the coolest. And I just kind of went with it, you know?
Makes sense.
Why
All right.
not?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, if
I was curious.
someone calls me Wolfie, I'll just elbow it to the face.
Yeah, Wolfie is not. That's kind of. Yeah.
That's like you're being an asshole, you know? That's how you be an asshole, right
Hi,
there.
Wolfie. That
Yeah,
just doesn't
like,
sound
that's not
right.
my name. Like Wolfgang Van Halen, call him Wolfie. That's his name.
Right.
That's not my name.
Well, it's your last name,
That's not my name.
Wolf.
That's not my name. That's not my name.
You know, my sister-in-law, her maiden name is Wolf. And I don't know very many Wolves, so I thought you guys were related for a second. You're not.
I'm from Germany. Our family's from Germany.
So, it turns out Eric knew my sister-in-law.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you might have known her, too.
Maybe.
Her name is Shay.
I don't know.
Is that her name? Did I just forget my sister-in-law's name?
Anyways.
Shayna. Her name is Shayna.
Yes.
Shayna Wolf.
I think so.
That's my sister-in-law.
I think I do.
Yeah. You guys are friends on Facebook, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
So, married a guy named Mike.
Yep. I was trying to go through my head really quick because I was making sure we're talking about the same person. We are talking about the same person.
Yeah, that's my sister-in-law.
Yeah. I do know that.
Small world.
I do know that. It's crazy how that stuff works out.
I know everybody.
Well, that's understatement of the year right there.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, because I remember one time I saw your wife. I saw a picture of your wife with her on Facebook, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
You are like Kevin Bacon, like 6 degrees Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of Luis Perez right there.
Yeah, with me it's more like 3 degrees.
3.
Yeah, it's
98 degrees.
It's stupid.
Like 98 degrees.
Just not the band. So y'all should have just saw the little dance that Ryan did when I said just not the band.
Nick Lachey.
Yeah,
I want to say first off, before we get into the thank yous, I want to say a big thank you to Crazy Dog T-shirts, Rochester, New York.
Yes, thank you, Crazy Dog T-shirts.
If you saw the Facebook page, and if you haven't, go check it out. Facebook.com/BLTD podcast.
That's right.
Check it out.
Look us up.
My brother Eric, first off, I want to say a big thank you to him for designing the T-shirt and taking care of the sale and all that stuff.
I got to talk to Eric. I need some designs done for some stuff I got going on.
I told him you're coming to talk to him.
Did you?
Yeah, and he's got this cool Surface Pro thing, so he'll just like draw everything, and it's amazing.
Cool.
He's really good at what he does. Check him out at Eric Emanon on Twitter. If you don't know how to spell Emanon, it's no name backwards.
That's a true
Very
story.
simple. Anyways, Crazy Dog T-shirts out. I think it's on in Rochester.
You know where we got the name? Eric Emanon?
Where?
There was a bar in Clinton called Emanon. It was no name backwards. And so when we started to create the persona, that's what we went with.
Well, I kind of figured because that's what I was told. It was like, oh, it's no name backwards, and it's kind of you're a no name, so it's perfect.
Yes.
I want to get the address correct here, but I don't think I got it anymore. So I'm just going to shuffle my feet here for a second and talk about nothing while I look up.
Do they do more than just T-shirts?
I think they just do. I can look and see.
Because we need a place that does more than just T-shirts.
Well, I need to get you.
I
need you to get a work shirt for you too.
Yes.
That says like "Better Alive Than Dead," Mr.
Right, but we need at the cigar shop that I work at part time.
Yeah, what do you need?
We need shirts, T-shirts, and button-up shirts and some nice shirts.
Well, look,
we have a place that does it, but they're really slow.
They're on Humboldt
ridiculous.
Street in Rochester, and I got a tour. I walked in.
What's the name of the place?
Humboldt. It's Crazy Dog Tees. T-shirts.
Okay.
I met Pete. I don't know what his title is there, but I met a guy named Pete. He's a great dude. Showed us around the place. It's really cool. You walk in to the right. There's like to the left. There's an office. To the right, there's like a giant warehouse of just shirts. And then you walk straight ahead, and there's just people mass producing shirts.
Oh,
it was beyond cool.
I'll have to check them out.
But yeah, they've got a website, crazydogtshirts.com. It's a free plug party, people. And they've got some good shirts. It's like Busted Tees, one of our new sponsors, Busted Tees. It's like them, but it's local. I like to support local businesses. Working on getting stickers soon, so keep an eye out for that on the Facebook page. The first order of T-shirts have been ordered. They'll be ready probably the next week or two. So anybody who ordered that's listening, you'll get your shirt soon. I'll be in touch.
That's pretty awesome.
Anybody who wants a shirt, let me know. We'll get another order started. I want to say thank you to Canada.
Hi, Canada.
Thanks for tuning in, Canada. You're awesome. Want to say thank you to my co-host, Mr. Perez.
Thank you, sir.
We have another long podcast this week, but who cares? You know, we're hitting our stride again. It's getting to be that point in time where it's the end of winter. Spring was yesterday, the 20th of March. Finally, it's spring. It's probably still going to be cold and it'll probably still snow, but it's spring.
Yes.
We're clearing out the cobwebs. We're getting ready for baseball. Because I'll tell you what, when baseball rolls around, we're going to have a solid core of baseball that we're going to talk about, and you know we're gonna crush it, dog.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
And I want to say thank you to John and Dawn of Get Ready America, the co-producers of the Better Live Than Dead podcast, and the two people behind the Gear Radio Network. I want to say thank you to them as usual, and thank you to every single one of you, each and every single one of you people.
Hi, Caprice.
Hi, peoples, as Mr. Perez once made famous on a podcast.
Peoples.
Thank you. Wherever you listen, on your Facebook, on your YouTube, you can't even listen on Facebook, I don't think. You can listen through Facebook.
You can listen, you click on the link, it'll take you to Spreaker.
Spreaker, YouTube, iHeartRadio, iTunes, anywhere you listen. I ran out of places to talk about. Anywhere you listen, thank you so much for tuning in, making these 35 episodes successful, letting us have some fun, letting us talk to you about sports and about whatever we can think of.
It's fun. It has been fun.
It makes my Saturdays exciting.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
The cool thing about it now is that as it's getting warmer out, we may change up when we do the podcast. Not all the time, but the podcast may involve being outside or being somewhere else or doing fun things with the podcast. So, like I said, stay tuned to Twitter, at MRLG Perez, at Wolf with an E, SHC. Facebook.com/BLTD podcast. Follow Gear Network on Twitter at GERE Network.
That's right.
Website at GERENetwork.com.
Yes.
Shop through the Amazon link. Check out our new sponsors. Shoot us an email. Tell us how much you love us.
Right.
Tell how much you
hate us.
Exactly. We're all for
what can we do better?
Exactly.
Hook us up. Let us know. We're always looking to improve.
Always. That's why we mess up so much on the podcast.
That's right.
That's our excuse. We screw up so much because we're always looking to improve. So we can't have a perfect podcast because the time we have a perfect podcast, we got to retire.
Yeah, got to.
Doesn't matter if it's episode 7 or episode 700.
Right.
We got to quit.
It's like that time I threw my 300 in bowling. Like
that's it. It's not going to get any better than this.
No.
It's like the time you sup with a really hot chick and you're like,
It's like every night. What's up?
Perez just got some bonus points right there.
Just saying.
He's a smooth criminal, dog.
I am.
But
I just can't do that really long lean that Michael Jackson does in that video.
That's tough.
So that is tough.
I might tear a groin if I do that.
Oh, probably.
Be out for a couple weeks. I'll be walking around with my hand on my junk.
Gingerly.
I'll walk around with my hand on my junk like Michael Jackson after trying to be like Michael because I tore my groin.
That's true.
But for Mr. Perez,
and for Ryan Wolf,
we are better live than dead.
You're not.
Saying thank you.
Adios,
again.
people.
Thank you again for being awesome. Thanks for being you.
Listen in.
You're wonderful people.
We appreciate it.
You make the podcast awesome. You make our lives awesome. We get to aimlessly talk about sports to you and to everybody. Thanks again for tuning in, people. We'll be back. Same time, same place next week, episode 36. But for now,
adios.
Have a great night. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. And also, to all you drunks out there, happy belated St. Patrick's Day. I hope you had a lot of fun, and I hope you didn't wake up with the wrong people in bed.
I'm sure they did.
I'm sure they did. Absolutely. Have a good one, my friends. We'll see you next week.